A pair of deadly attacks, coming less than a month apart, exposed a deep schism in President Trump's thinking when it comes to violent attacks in America. The tale of two trages, and Trump's reactions, tell of the president's perception of the killers and the threats that they represent, critics said Wednesday. Following the October 1 mass shooting in Las Vegas that left 58 people dead, Trump, the White House and others in the president's orbit refused to talk about gun control. "My warmest condolences and sympathies to the victims and families of the terrible Las Vegas shooting. God bless you," was the lone message Trump tweeted hours after gunman Stephen Paddock used modified assault rifles to unleash a torrent of bullets on the crowd at a country festival. But in the hours after 8 were killed by an ISIS-inspired attacker in Lower Manhattan, Trump raced to link the carnage to the need for enhanced immigration efforts. Kevin Lamarqueuters suspect Sao Saipov, a native of Uzbekistan, plowed a rented truck into bicyclists and pedestrians on a path in Lower Manhattan on Tuesday. In a series of tweets on Wednesday morning, Trump turned away from comforting victims and instead attacked Democrats and called for merit-based immigration, saying that we must get much tougher and smarter. Trump's contrasting responses to similarly tragic incidents was highlighted by several Democrats. "I await the right's condemnation of Trump's politicization of this tragedy, his failure to observe waiting period before talking policy," Sen. Chris Murphy D. Con tweeted. CNN Now I get it. If the killer is an immigrant you can talk about policy change, but if he's natural born, you're politicizing the tragedy, he added. Both Gov. Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio blasted Trump for immediately turning the discussion toward politics. "The last thing the president should do is politicize this tragedy," de Blasio said. "We have to find out what happened. Is there any bigger ramifications? In the end, the last thing we should do is start casting aspersions on whole races of people or religions. We should stand shoulder to shoulder and never let the terrorists have the high ground." Cuomo knocked Trump's trigger-happy tweets in the wake of the worst terror attack in New York City since 9/11. "I am bothered by an attempt by anyone to try to politicize the situation," Cuomo said at a press conference Wednesday. "That plays right into the hands of the terrorists. They are trying to disrupt. They are trying to create mayhem. They are trying to divide. The point is to do the opposite. It is to unite, normalcy, proceed as one. So to politicize this event I think is wholly counterproductive," he added. The president's reaction and call for policy changes in the hours after the New York attack could not have been further from the White House's refusal to discuss gun laws in the wake of the Las Vegas shooting. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said a day after the horror in Nevada that there is a time and place for a political debate, but now is the time to unite as a country. Sanders blasted reporters for asking about more restrictive gun legislation. "It would be premature for us to discuss policy when we don't know all the facts or what took place last night," she said. The president's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., jumped to his father's defense on Wednesday, attacking Democrats for pointing out the division between his father's reactions. NY Daily News illustration still waiting for liberal calls for immigration bans reform like they do every time there's a gun attack. "Maybe hungover from Halloween," he tweeted. Trump continued his attack on Wednesday morning, specifically targeting Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer DNY, for backing the diversity visa lottery, which Saipov used to enter the U.S. in 2010. "Now, Mr. President, I've seen the tweets," Schumer said on the Senate floor in response. After September the 11th, one of the first things that President Bush did was invite Senator Clinton and me to the White House, where he pledged to do whatever was in his power to help our city, he said. President Bush, in a moment of national tragedy, understood the meaning of his high office and sought to bring our country together. President Trump, where is your leadership? Schumer added.